Hello, my amazing artists! Today we are going to do some drawing of 3D shapes. I'm very excited to get started. This is something that I've had to practice quite a bit. It is not something that I just know how to do, so it might take you a couple tries until you really get the hang of it. Let's do it together. Here we go. Okie dokie, artichokes. Today we are talking about shapes. We're going to turn those shapes into three-dimensional forms. So we're just adding 3 dimension to our shapes. Alright, so we're going to create some forms. For one of them, we're going to need to add a little value, which is the lightness or darkness of a color. I'm going to show you that at the very end, so stay tuned. Let's get our draw on. So I'm going to use a Sharpie today just to show you how to do it, but I want you to use a pencil. So definitely grab yourself a pencil, maybe even a ruler to help you make those lines nice and straight. I've been practicing all day and even some of last week, so let's get started. I think the Sharpie, you need to be able to see what I'm drawing. It'll show up better. Here are some of my examples. So I think we're going to start with this page. So we're going to draw a cylinder, then a cone, a cube, and a pyramid, and a triangular prism. Wow, lots of words there. Let me get a piece of paper so we can get started. Okay, let's rock and roll. Let's start with the cube. I think that'll probably be the easiest one. So, cube. A cube is a 3D square. So I'm also going to write the word square. So a cube, that's 3D, and a square is 2D, right? It's flat. It's just a square. It doesn't have these other sides on it. So let's draw our cube. So, on this piece of paper, we're going to draw a square. This is where you might want to grab your ruler. So I'm going to draw a square. A square has 4 sides, and it has 4 corners, and all the sides are the same length. Now, it might not be perfect if you're drawing it freehand and you're not measuring. That's okay. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 sides, and all the corners are the same. Now I'm going to draw 3 diagonal lines. So we know a horizontal line goes from left to right, a vertical line goes up and down, a diagonal line goes from corner to corner. So I'm going to draw 3 diagonal lines. I'm going to draw one from the top right, the bottom right, and the top left. You could draw one here too, but I don't want my cube to be see-through. I want it to look like a dice, right? So I'm going to connect those lines on the top and on the side. The side I find is the easiest for me to make that line straight. Sometimes I need my ruler to go across. There we go. Not too bad. All right. So that's our cube. Pretty cool. I know some people have other ways of drawing cubes, and I would love to see those if you want to send me a picture. That's how I like to draw a cube. So I'm just going to write the word cube. All set. Okay. And you can make your cube into anything you like. I did an example of a house there. So next one, let's do a cylinder. I created this plain cylinder, and then I made one to look like a can of soup. A cylinder is pretty simple. I think you could do it. It's a lot like a cup. Like a cup is a cylinder. It has the round open top, the round bottom, but the sides are flat, right? They're not rounded like a ball would be. Okay, so let's draw this. We're going to start with an oval at the top. And this oval is pretty skinny. It's not like an egg is an oval, how that egg is pretty round. We want a very skinny oval. Then we're going to draw 2 lines down from either side. 1, 2. Now you could draw that same oval again and make it a cylinder, but I don't want it to be see-through. I want it to look like a cup. So I'm going to draw just this bottom curve that we drew on the bottom of the oval at the bottom of my cylinder. Kind of like a slow, wide smile. Ta-da! That's your cylinder. Cylinder. Okay, let's move on to the cone. Dun, dun, dun. You could draw your cone either way. You could draw it facing up, the point is facing up like a party hat, or you could draw with the point facing down like an ice cream cone. I'm going to show you how to draw with the point facing up. I think it's a little easier. So I'm going to start by drawing two lines like I would start a triangle, but I'm not going to draw the bottom line. You want them about even. So just like we did the cylinder oval at the top, we're going to do an oval at the bottom. I'm going to start making a curve there that goes up, and then a curve that goes down that matches it. Ta-da! So that's our cone. Next one. Cruising right along, guys. All right. Getting a little trickier. Our pyramid and our triangular prism. Here we go. Let's make our pyramid first. So just like the cone, we're going to start with a triangle. But this time we're going to connect the bottom so it is a true triangle. Remember, a triangle has 3 sides and 3 points or 3 angles. Now, thinking about our cube, how we drew those diagonal lines, I'm going to draw 2 diagonal lines here. So take a look at the top and the bottom. And then I'm going to draw, oh my gosh, you guys, I started drawing the prism instead of the pyramid. Whoops. Okay. Triangular prism. That's what we're doing first. So we drew our triangle, our 2 diagonal lines, and then 1 more diagonal line. It's going to be the same as this line. Went the same direction. There we go. So that's our triangular prism. There we go. Okay, now let's do the pyramid. Woo, I'm getting all crazy. Triangle again. Okay, so now for the pyramid, we're going to just draw 1 angled line, not at the top, just 1 down here at the bottom. Ta-da! And now instead of drawing that other line at the top, we're going to draw it down to connect. Ta-da! There's your pyramid. Do you know where in the world there are pyramids? I think the only place I know of pyramids are in Egypt. I drew this one to look like those kind of pyramids with the bricks. So I draw these horizontal lines and then these lines on this side to make it look like it was made of bricks or stone. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wow, we are cruising. Let's see what we got next. Ooh, okay. These aren't too hard. So we've got a rectangular prism. We've got a bowl and a dome. So I bet you can tell the dome and the bowl are pretty much the same. Just like the cone, if you turn it different ways, you kind of have a different shape. It could be a different object. So at the bottom here, I'm going to draw my, let's do dome and bowl. So the dome is a big arching line. And then at the bottom, we're going to make the same type of oval that we did for the bottom of our cone. Arching line up, arching line down. And that's our dome. Our bowl is a big curved line that looks like a smile. So instead of going up like the dome, you go down. And then same oval at the top. Very skinny oval. And I'm going to call this shape a bowl because it looks like a bowl to me. All right. Rectangular prism. Not super hard. Very much like the cube. Okay. So we're going to draw a rectangle. So a rectangle has 2 long sides and 2 short sides. Here we go. I've got 2 long sides, 2 short sides. And now I'm going to make those 3 angled lines. 1, 2, 3. And I'm going to connect them. Ta-da! That is our rectangular prism. All right, guys, we are on a roll. I am going to introduce you to the last one. This is probably the trickiest one. So remember I said we had to use some value? Here it comes. So I'm going to move this out of the way. There we go. So we're moving from a circle into a sphere. So we are adding value to create a sphere. So our circle here is just plain. It's blank. There's nothing inside of it. The shading doesn't change. It's just a flat circle. This one here has darker values, and then it gets lighter until you get to this really light, bright spot. So it's showing you that this part of the circle, or of the sphere, is in shadow. And this part is in the light. So it has volume. It has a form, right? So to do this, it's a little tricky. I'm going to switch to my pencil. I'm going to decide where the light is coming from. And with this one, the light was coming from over here. That's where my sun is, or my light source is. So if the light is shining down on the ball, that's where the bright spot's going to be. So if my light is over here, this is where my sun is, it's shining down on the ball, that's where my bright spot's going to be. So I'm not going to shade at all there. I'm going to leave that nice and bright. I'm going to shade on the opposite side of the circle. And see how I tilt my pencil sideways? I'm adding some dark value to my ball, to my sphere. Okay. So I'm pressing pretty hard with my pencil. Now, something to remember is you can't really erase super well. Sometimes you still get that shadow of the mark you made, but you can always add more. So go little by little, and you can always add until you think you're done. You can stop. I'm going to add, now I'm gently with my pencil, just kind of scribbling along, taking my time, and I want that to overlap. Change direction. Okay, staying away from my light spot. Just lightly with my pencil. Okay, guys, I think you kind of get the idea. So you kind of lightly draw around, and you keep layering that darkness right here until you like how it looks. Don't forget to get those edges. Pencil is really great because you can take your finger and kind of smudge it around so it's not such harsh lines. I'm going to go back over this. It's okay to be a little scribbly with this. This is a practice run, right? You don't have to be super perfect with it. You could also use crayon or colored pencil. You don't have to use a regular pencil like I'm using. Okay, I'm going to just lightly go around my little light spot here. Okay, you guys are just starting to see it. So I'm going to just keep adding darkness over here and making sure it stays nice and light over here. If you need to, take your eraser and erase any lines you don't want. The farther away you get from the light spot, the darker it gets. Alright, guys. If you need any more information about creating three-dimensional forms or shapes, check out my website. I am so excited to see what you create. Thanks for watching.